boss lady behind Bella's Custom Crochets. I think I just started that out like it was a tutorial and not a podcast, but whatever. Point remains valid. I'm Bella, and this is episode 21 of my podcast. We're going to talk about crocheting and knitting and my designing, and everything I talk about you can find down below. There's a why does everyone need to do this? Do we not know where down is? In the down bar, there is a link to the show notes, which can be found on my blog now, and all sorts of other good links and places you can find me all over the internet and the world and stuff and such. One day I'll nail down an intro, guys. One day. Yeah, I think that's it. If you're new, thanks for coming. I know a lot of people have jumped over from Christy Glass's channel and a couple other places from the Rhinebeck video. And yeah, wherever you're finding me from, thank you for coming, and I hope you choose to stick around, like, subscribe, all that, you know the drill. It helps. And if you're returning, thanks for always being here with me. I appreciate you guys. As usual, we're going to talk about some design and some whips and some finished objects and some stuff, and let's do it. I have a tiny bit of admin to cover. We'll file it under admin. Wow, I'm having a really hard time talking. Sorry. Let's see, what are we going to cover? Admin-wise, I'm coming up on my 1-year podiversary, as the people say, podcast anniversary. I believe it is November 8th, according to my notes, which is a Sunday. The YouTube channel, I think, turned a year old in beginning of October somewhere. But the podcast itself, I did the first podcast episode in November of last year. So I think if I can figure it out, more details will be coming, and I'm going to have to ask a couple people questions on how to actually do it. But I think I'm going to do a live here on YouTube that Sunday. It's probably going to be around like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I'll let you know. Working around church and nap times and family stuff. So I think that's what it'll probably be. I will put up an announcement if that is something we decide to do and I can figure it out and make it work. I think I have that capability now that I have X amount of followers. So I think we're going to try and do a live, and if not, we'll do a premiere or something. Something is going to happen. I might also do a giveaway. I can't decide if I'm doing it live or if I'm going to do it in the following podcast. But we're going to celebrate somehow, because 1 year of talking to myself, sitting in a room alone to the internet, I guess is worth celebrating. And I've seen a lot of growth since then, and it's super exciting. So stay tuned for more information about podcast anniversary. It's coming. Other admin things. I have a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on right now that I can't really talk to you about just yet. But some exciting stuff that's going to be happening for my business in 2021. If 2021 is at all better than 2020, I hope so. But that's the plan. We don't have any set dates on stuff yet, but there's going to be some cool stuff happening, so I'm working on that behind the scenes, so just know. Little teaser. And then the other thing I wanted to admin-wise at you is that I've been, because I know I have a lot of new people coming to the channel as well as Instagram, I've been doing Instagram posts, like flashback every day, not flashback Friday, flashback, throwback, to some of my older designs, and a lot of which are free on my blog. So I've been kind of highlighting those this week just to make people aware of them. So if you like free patterns or easy patterns or patterns that are great for markets, do you have any markets at this point? Yeah, these are some good ones. Great gift makes too. All of my usual markets, last year I was doing tons of farmers markets and markets and craft fair things and pop-ups. I think I did like 11, 13, a whole bunch of events last year. Like September to December, but they've all been canceled, all the big ones. But I just in the last week booked 2 like tiny little pop-ups at a couple local businesses. So one's going to be in a yarn store and one's going to be in it's like a pottery art studio cafe. Really awesome place that I really love and frequent. So I'm going to be doing pop-ups in those 2 spaces with, you know, all the distancing and the mask and the blah. Not excited about that aspect of it, but we're making it work. 2020. So yeah, I just as of last week have some events, and thankfully I have some inventory and we're gonna be fine, but excited about that. I think that's the only admin stuff. Oh, just because I know someone will probably ask, didn't design this. This is a super bulky really comfy, easy cardigan pattern. It's by Lady J Crochet, and it's called the Sloveig, Sloveig cardigan. Something I can't pronounce, cardigan. Hers is duster length. I cropped mine to mid-thigh length. Hers like goes down to her calves. And yeah, it's made in bulky yarn, and I made it in like one day and a half last year. It's acrylic, so it's pilling like crazy. I've already gleaned it. But this is like the only bulky thing that I wear for myself other than like cowls. And it's really cozy, like a throw on almost bathrobe type. It's not the most figure flattering, but super cozy. I don't like bulky things. And then my shirt is from Hobby Lobby before I got mad at Hobby Lobby. #YarnLife. Let's talk about some other stuff. Sorry, that was a long getting into things. Designs. Design-wise, right now, I know the last video a couple people had asked about testing for the cowl design and the pullover design. They are both currently in testing already, so I have testers. If ever you are interested in testing for me, the place to be alerted or aware of that is over on Instagram. So Bella's_custom_crochets. It's all linked down below the video here. Is where I like ramp up to testing calls, posting pictures and sneak peeks and all of that. And that's where I will do a post with a testing call, which will then link you over to a Google Doc application, to Google Form, Google something. There's so many Google things. Application, and then I go through them and pick testers for each individual thing. I think I've said that here before, but I get asked a lot, so that's how I do testing. If you are interested, I pick for each individual design, and there's no like master list of testers at this point, so just keep an eye out on Instagram. So the pullover is in testing through beginning of December. I'm hoping to have it out before the end of the year, depending on my tech editor schedule. And the cowl is also in testing, and hopefully will be out in December. So stay tuned. If you want more information about both of those, jump back to the last couple episodes. I don't want to keep repeating myself about them. Make you listen as I ramble on, you know. Other design-wise, I am waiting. I was hoping I'd be here to show you by today, but it's not. I'm waiting on some yarn for a wrap design. I've never done a wrap before. I've done a whole lot of shawls. I love shawls. Shawls are my thing. I want to be into garments, but shawls are a little easier because there's not so much braiding involved. So, yeah, I've never done like a wrap is basically a giant scarf, a big rectangle, I think. So that's what I'm planning on doing. It's going to be, I'll show you kind of a sneak peek in a second here, but I'm waiting on some really awesome yarns that some are custom dyed, some are from our line from Megs & Co. I don't have a tag, but I've worked with her before, or worked with her yarn before, but this is our first collaboration. So next episode or live or whatever, I'll be showing you those and hopefully the design that's in the works for them, 2021. And then this, I was actually only swatching for that other design to try and figure out the stitch pattern that I wanted. The wrap's going to be fingering weight, but then I started swatching in some different weight yarns, just trying to work out a stitch pattern. And what I came up with, and it's not entirely of my own, I didn't entirely invent the stitch pattern. I modified something from, it's on my desk, the Dora Orenstein Crochet Every Way Stitch Dictionary, I believe is what it's called. I'll link it down in the show notes as well. But it's a super handy crochet stitch dictionary that has increases and decreases in shaping and for like a bazillion stitches. I think it's like 160 or something. It's a lot. I may have totally made that number up, but it's a lot and it's awesome. But yeah, I modified a stitch out of there. So this is going to be the stitch that's going to be used in the wrap. Yeah. So it's going to be used in the wrap, but then I decided I was going to do a bulky weight-ish, modified version-ish of the wrap as well. So there's going to be something similar to this coming before, after the wrap. I don't know. I have to do the charts either way for the stitch, so I figured I might as well make it into a couple patterns. So I think this is really pretty. And this yarn is Color Made Easy, which is what I make a lot of my market makes my line of things that I sell. So this is the color Shade, and yeah, Lion Brand color made easy. It's a bulky. I really like this for quick makes and for yarn that's easy to care for people who are buying items that might not necessarily be familiar with blocking. If you're not familiar with how to care for yarn, I think acrylic is probably the best option for markets. You probably all know this. Why am I telling you this? I'm going to make a thing that looks like this, but bigger. Stay tuned. That concludes the design section. Wow, I don't know where my brain is at today. I feel like this is very extra rambly. I apologize, everyone. Okay, so I have a couple. This is actually upgraded to a finished object, so I'm going to move that out of the frame for a second. I have sort of a whip because I just am procrastinating finishing it, but the Operation Make Owl Things for my daughter's birthday is going quite well. We have the Fluffy Owl Amigurumi made out of fluffy faux fur yarn. You ready? It's really cute. It's really cute. Isn't she cute? So the only thing that I need to finish on this, as I'm planning on making her some little hair bows, because my daughter very often wears, why am I gesturing? 2 pigtails with bows. So I'm going to give the owl a little ear tuft bows. And then she needs some kind of feet. I don't think I'm going to crochet feet. I think I'm going to sew felt feet. Sew felt feet. It's a fun sentence. But I'm kind of dreading it because I don't like sewing. But the poor owl definitely needs feet, I think. She's kind of massive. It's super cozy. So the yarn is, oops, this is the wrong tag. Again, if you want to hear my Hobby Lobby rant, it's in the last podcast. But this is Yarn Bee for the moment. It is similar to Lion Brand Go for Faux or whoever else produces furry yarns at this point. I use the colors Silver and Mink, I believe, and there's absolutely no pattern for this. I started at the bottom with the circle, made it wide, made it narrower, made it wide again, made some wings that are possibly not the same size. The ear tufts are definitely not the same size. So it's all, the body's all one piece. Sewed some wings on, sewed some ear tufts on, and then I made a felt, it's kind of sheddy, a felt little face for her, which I think came out pretty cute. You never really know, I haven't seen a ton of amigurumis with felt faces, but when I was doing, at the start of my business, I did a ton of amigurumi. It matches my outfit very nicely. This should have been the cover image. Maybe I should retake that cover image. You'll see. When I started out doing amigurumi, I always did felt faces, and I felt like mine were pretty unique. And then I stopped doing amigurumi because they are tedious. But yeah, I think this owl's pretty sweet. She's gonna really love her. And it's so soft. I don't know how it's gonna wear over time. I'm kind of worried it's gonna like mat and like get owl mange. But she's really sweet right now. And I probably could have planned better because I told you last time that I put I made a little felt pouch and filled it with rice to weight the bottom. And then immediately thereafter realized that I actually had the plastic like poly pellets that I could have and should have used, but at that point I had already, I think, sewn up the owl's head or something. I didn't want to cut back and redo it. But now that I'm thinking about it, that probably makes it completely non-washable because the rice would absorb liquid and then mold inside of the owl. Yes? Probably shouldn't have used rice. But I don't think this is going to be a family heirloom or anything, but I'm hoping it wears pretty well to toddler lovin's. Because I can't wash you. So I need you to be resilient. So this, I don't know, we'll let my daughter name her, but she's really sweet and I like her. I'm going to be done stroking this owl now. But we're having, oh, now I'm going to fly the owl around. We're having we're calling it an owl party for her birthday. which is basically we are having cake with an owl on it and cupcakes with owls on it, and we're going to shape vegetables into owls, and we have owl decorations and just as many owls as we can. I'm going to have a great time celebrating owls and my child. So on the theme of owl party, I'll show you this one now because it goes with the other owl. We're going to do a combined, Bella. The word is combined. We're having a rough day today. A combined finished object whip, half-finished object section, because the owl still needs feet, so technically not done, still a whip, and bows. This was a whip up until an hour before the podcast. I had like 3 rows left, and I was like, I can't even call that a whip. I just need to finish it. So we cast off the owl sweater. We'll insert the name again because it is not something I'm confident pronouncing. But look at it! Get that out of there. You're ruining the shot. Look at how nice it is. And by how nice it is, I mean look at how adequately I did this color work. So this is, like I said, a pattern by such and such and so-and-so. And that's not actually the name. It was the name on the screen. I made, technically a fingering weight pattern. I made it in DK and I sized down. So this is the size 2. Probably should have made her the size 4 if I was doing fingering. So the size 2. And it does fit. I've been making her try it on inside out. And she's totally used to me trying random stuff onto her all the time anyway. So she's not surprised that there's a sweater that fits her in the house. I would like to have done it completely as a surprise, but I wanted to make sure if I was going to go through all the trouble that it was going to fit with room to grow. So I've been trying it on her inside out, and she's so in love with things that I make her. She's like, oh, pretty. It's like the inside float section, which I'll show you. So my floats aren't great. This is only really my 2nd color work garment, and 3rd ever color work anything. So my floats, you can see that like that's a problem. There's definitely some floats I'm going to have to go back and maybe tack down or like tighten up or loosen up or something, because this section right here in particular is really having a rough time. Yeah, and we have some that I forgot to catch and they're too long. But overall, I think I did pretty good. There's definitely some puckering. The yarn, which I didn't tell you about, but I have before, is another Hobby Lobby. It's the Must Be Merino in various colors. So it's a mostly merino with a little bit of acrylic and nylon in it, so I think it'll block okay because of the merino content. But we definitely have some puckers going on in the yoke section. Like those upper leaves are way more unfortunate than those lower leaves. And I think my downfall, I mean the leaves are all one color, so really my downfall is color work in general, but my downfall, the original pattern was a white background with maroon red owls, with the yellow beaks and like a yellow contrast eyebrow ear tuft thing, and then green leaves. Is that right? How many colors do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's supposed to be 4 colors. I don't know. Just the way that I did it was different because no, it was supposed to be 3 colors. So the background of the sweater obviously was white originally. So you did the owls in the maroon, but then the eyes were just the background color, and the little flecky whatevers those are, owl bellies, were the background color. And then the pupils, I don't know if you can tell, I did them in black. They all have different characteristics and personalities because tension. But the pupils were supposed to be in the same maroon or whatever color you did the owls in. And I didn't like that because maroon eyes are weird. So I was trying to make them less frightening looking, I guess. So I added in black as just the eyeballs. It's the only place black occurs. And then, yeah, I kept the beak as the yellow would have been a contrast, but now it's actually the background. It's very, of course, I couldn't just follow the pattern and make it the same colors or, be reasonable. But basically, if you make the sweater in anything but white, you're going to have to do some fiddly things unless you want like yellow-eyed owls or whatever color your main body is. So because I added in the black and the white, the faces of the owl ended up being 4 colors at a time. 2-stranded color work, like look, the leaves, those are pretty good. I can do 2 strands, no problem. 2 colors. 3 strands is, fiddly, it's rough. Because you only, 2 strands, I hold 1 in each hand, and this is not how I do it, but I do 1 English style and 1 continental style, and we make it work. 3, you kind of have to switch back and forth, and then because you're carrying long floats, you have to switch even more. But 4 was just like, it was just chaos. And it's only really that 1 row with the pupils in it, but I feel like that really threw off a lot of things. It was like a snort, sorry. So yeah, their little faces are kind of bunchy, is what I'm trying to tell you, and hopefully they're going to block out. So technically this is a finished object right now, but it still has stitch markers in it, and the ends aren't sewn in, and it hasn't been blocked. So I think I'll show you the final product next time. Also, there's no short rows. I cannot speak. No short rows in this, so it labeled this as the front and this is the back, but they're kind of, I think, identical, but I think I like the back better. The owl tension is, except for this guy, his eyeball like sank into his face. Gotta help him out. This is definitely more puckery in the back, so maybe I'll flop it around. We'll see. Modifications. Did I modify anything? The sleeves were supposed to have some decreases in them, and I just kept them big and poofy, and then did a bunch of decreases at the end. And I realized I thought I had done this rolled collar and twisted rib. It's just 1x1 rib. So then I did the split hem. I made a split hem. That was modified. Made a split hem and did that in twisted rib, and realized after I had done both of them that that's not in twisted rib. Whatever, so I made the sleeves in twisted rib, and that's fine. I don't know why I did this not in twisted rib, because I love twisted rib. But I don't think it's terrible, and again, it's for a toddler, so she'll probably be fine. You'll all be fine, really. Who's going to bother me about this? The only other critiques, I guess, of the pattern that were not of my own doing, because I brought the color work misery on myself, but the weird part, and I don't have enough color work experience to know that this is normal or not, but basically, when you're working color work, obviously you're working, like each little owl or whatever is a set number of stitches, and then you just keep repeating it around. So the smaller sizes have less owls, the bigger sizes have more owls, stuff like that. And it just so happened that the size 2, I don't know if it was a sizing thing or like she couldn't get the size with the, I don't know. But the leaf garland, and there was like a note in the pattern and like stars and asterisks and stuff, that the leaf garland on the lower half here just didn't work in the numbers of the size 2, which is what I was doing, of course, the only one that was funky. So the underarms, the leaf garland doesn't match up. It just kind of like stops and starts. And we had to follow the chart for both the leaf garland around the body and on the sleeve. Not from the beginning of the chart, like it started in the middle of the chart and then ended. It was very weird. So from someone with not a lot of color work experience, I found that a little tricky. And I had to put in stitch markers every little owl repeat or leaf repeat to keep track of what I was doing, because I didn't actually know. And usually I coordinate all of my stitch markers to match my project, but these are like the ones that were hiding in the bottom of my project bag. So they're just completely random. I have 1,000. I definitely could make them match, but these are the ones that I've been picking up off the floor and throwing in my bag. So I think that's my story about Owl Sweater. I'll have to do a before and after blocking picture, because I really hope it improves. But I know she's going to love it. It fits really cute. It's definitely oversized, and hoping it will fit her into next winter as well. So that is my color work knitting story. I need to get some, I think it's a thing. If anybody knows if I'm making this up or not, I want to get interchangeable needles to do sleeves on. I'm pretty sure ChiaoGoo makes, it's like the It's not the mini toy, because it's not like the sock set tiny needles. It's like the normal size needles with shorter tips and shorter cords to do sleeves on, because I hate magic loop and I hate DPNs. And trying to do magic loop and color work was just, my tension is insanity. Is that a mistake? What's going on there? Nope, that's just bad tension. Yeah, and like you can see my sleeve tension is just weird because that'll block out, but I do not love magic loop. So I need to get something that I can do the sleeves without having to loop something. So I need sleeve circumference size needles. If anybody knows about that, tell me what they are. I'm pretty sure that Chowgu makes ones in like a little blue pack. Maybe. So that is the birthday crochets and makes. What I said, the owl's crochet. I think I should have specified that, but amigurumi, I think it's tendency to be crochet. So that's the crocheted owl and the knit owl sweater. The only other birthday makes I have to do are, I need to make the owl some bows, and then I'm making her some bows as well. Woodland Stitchcraft. Bonnie has a new, it's like crochet lace thread, cotton thread pattern for hair bows that are super adorable. And I've made a ton of Bonnie's patterns. I've tested for Bonnie. She makes really, really sweet little girl cardigans, dresses, outfits, bloomers, skirts. Now she's doing bows. All of her stuff is really fanciful and sweet and just has that slow fashion handmade wardrobe kind of vibe that I love. So I need to make some bows. I think the pattern includes 3 different bows, 5 different bows, a bunch of different bows. So I have little alligator clips. I need to make a couple bows from my daughter's birthday / Christmas. But I specifically need a pair to match her outfit for our Christmas card photos. And I think also for the Christmas card photos, this is a need. I have leftover yarn from the Anouk pullover. And I think I'm going to wear the pullover, and I want to make her a mini version of the One Skein Wonder Cowl in the same yarn, so we kind of coordinate. She'll be cuter though. So that's my thoughts on birthday makes. I'd love to know if you guys are making for littles in your life for birthdays or Christmas, or really anyone in your life. What are your gift makes? What are your go-tos? I don't do a ton of gift making other than for my kid, who gets a ton of stuff. And we're going to talk about something I'm making for JoJo too. But there's not really, my mom knits and crochets. One of my sisters knits and crochets. I have another who's starting to knit. I think she crochets. My mother's trying to convince her to knit. My brother that crochets. And yeah, there's not really anybody else in my life who I deem as knit worthy. So yeah, mostly make stuff for my kid, but I'm curious because I always see people who are like, I need to make, I'm not saying everyone does this, but people who need to make like 9 hats for people before Christmas, for everyone in their family. I've made a lot of stuff for different family members and friends and whatnot, so they either already have scarves and hats and whatnot, or I've never seen them wear the scarves and hats and whatnot, so I'm like, you're not getting more scarves and hats and whatnot, you know? So there's that. That's my knit-worthy Christmas gift. This is a rambling mess, everyone. And the only other, I meant to get a blocker. Whatever, I'll show you when they're done on a blocker. I have a finished skip sock and a small bit of ribbing on a second skip sock. So this is the Simple Skip Sock by somebody. Adrian Q. Did I get it right this time? I said it totally wrong last time. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is rather delightful looking. And the yarn that I am using is a local to me dye Lane and Lotus in the colorway Salted Caramel. And I'm just really loving this color and this texture of the sock, and it fits really well because I love a sock with ribbing in it. I kind of want to make some lacy socks, but I feel like I'm not going to like the way they fit. And, oh, I forgot to show you, I have hand knit socks today. You ready for me to lift my foot up over my head? Take off my sweaty boot? It's finally hand knit sock season. And I was doing that whole like box of socks sort of thing. And I decided I'm not waiting until the end of the year to wear my socks because it's New England and it gets cold here. So ready? Hand knit scrappy sock. I've talked about those before. I have to show you that one because that's totally different. Can I show you both feet at once? I don't know. Other scrappy sock. Oh boy, I'm gonna fall out of the chair. Holding onto the door frame. One scrappy sock. Two scrappy socks. Don't match. Love them. That was... Ooh, and I kicked the camera. That was, glamorous. So now my shoes are off and my toes are chilly, but I have knit socks on. So yeah, it's finally gotten down to sweater weather here in a little beyond sweater weather, like wool sweater or maybe a vest or something. Light coat weather. It's heading into the 40s. It's been low 50s. I think this weekend the high is like 44 or something. So it's getting chillier. So now I can wear the cozy things, and I'm excited about that. So I have one sock finished, as we said. And then I started just doing wee bit of ribbing on this one. I always feel weird telling you about the socks because I work on them so slowly. But I feel like a lot of people work on a lot of things a lot slower than I do, so you're probably not too annoyed with me talking about it, but I always feel weird telling you about the same pattern over and over again. But simple skip socks. Lane and Lotus yarn. Good stuff. Recommend. Everything. So I think that is my making content. The only other thing that I have to show you is today I stopped by... Ooh, we're going to lose that needle. Put that guy in there. I stopped by You and You, which I have a local yarn store day vlog about. If you want to jump over and watch that, I will link it for you in the little above thingamabob. But she was having a little bit of a sale today, and I needed to get some yarn to make... I should have grabbed the actual beanie, but I will point you in the direction of my shop. The Bolton Beanie is actually my first crochet pattern, and it was January 2018, something like that. When I first decided to design, the first thing I made was a beanie for my husband because I had a hard time finding a, I mean, it's definitely unisex, but more manly, I guess, out of the lack of another way to say it, crochet beanie. A lot of them, I don't know, I feel like knit beanies are very guy friendly and you can wear whatever you want, but my husband's picky, so and at the time I was not that great at knitting, so I wanted to make a crochet version, and that, yeah, it was my first pattern. The pattern includes a men's version in both beanie and slouchy style, and then a women's version in beanie and slouchy style, or men's and women's sizing, I should say. Small and large sizing, whatever size your head is, it's in the pattern. But I grabbed, he needs a new one. All of the ones that he has, I think he has 3, 4. My husband, although he's not going to need it so much this year because he doesn't leave the house, but when he was working outside of the house, he religiously wears a beanie in the winter on his little high and tight cut head because he's a chilly man. So he rocks a beanie, and all the ones that I've made him previously are acrylic. I think they're mostly in Lion brand Heartland, which I really like, but he's wool worthy at this point. So I got, this isn't even wool, but I got this yarn I've not worked with before. Reverb by Cascade Yarns, and it's 70% polyester, and it says recycled PET, which I don't know what that means. Does somebody want to elaborate on that? Polyester post-consumer. Recycled PET, comment below. What does that mean? Not made out of pets. And then 30% alpaca. So the hope is that the polyester, which I'm not used to working with, gives it a little more structure than just alpaca alone, because I need the beanie to hold shape. But this is actually a DK weight, I think. It doesn't specifically say, but it's 273 yards per 100 grams. So I think that puts it at DK. Yeah, I'd say you're about DK. The pattern is written for worsted weight, and I'm probably going to hack it because it's my pattern. I'm not writing a new one, but I'm probably going to hack it to fudge the numbers a little bit and make it work for DK. I had a tricky time finding a yarn for him because he likes a kind of heathered look. So not like a solid, not like solid gray. Likes it to be a little bit heathered. And there's a bunch that had like texture or like too much like tweed colors or variations of colors. And if I was going to get him something, I wanted to touch it in person, so I wanted to get it at my local yarn store. So I think this is going to work. Stay tuned on whether or not we make this into a functional Bolton beanie for JoJo. And it's pretty soft. I like alpaca. I think he'll be okay. He's not, I don't know if he has anything wool, honestly. Or does alpaca qualify as wool? Natural fiber? That's the one. But this is 70% polyester, so I think he'll be fine. But yeah, the plan is to maybe also use this in the Christmas card photos because we're going to take him outside. And I feel like he needs to have something handmade too, because I'm going to have a handmade sweater and my daughter's going to have the bows and the cowl. And yeah, he needs to, because otherwise people are going to assume that I made his sweater, and I definitely didn't. So, gray Bolton beanie it is. So I think that's all of my content for this episode. A little tiny bit shorter, possibly because I forgot things and was rambling like a fool, or possibly because it was just shorter. But thank you guys for being here. Like I said, stay tuned for a post or update about the 1-year anniversary. We're going to do something fun. Comment below if you'd be interested in doing a live on Sunday afternoon Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I'll see if I can figure that out. Reach out to a couple people if you know anything about how to set that up. Let me know, because I don't. And yeah, I'm excited about all the designs and testing. I'll have a lot of new stuff coming at you soon. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of projects and whatnots. So I hope you all have lots of yarn goodness in your life right now and are getting cozy if you're in the same hemisphere or general weather region that I am. But either way, I hope you're making for yourself, making for other people, making for your business, whatever you're doing, hoping you're enjoying it. And that as 2020 starts coming to a close, that we finish well as best we can in our own personal lives, because that's really the only thing we can even sort of kind of maybe not even really control. But yeah, this knitting needle just fell on me from somewhere, and that's where we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for being here. Everything's linked down below in the show notes, and I'd appreciate if you would consider not hating me for my inability to speak and liking and or subscribing to this channel. I will see you guys next time in episode 22 and or a fun live thing. Thanks guys. Bye.